Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. Today I will show you my investment portfolio, which is sitting around $80,362. This week, uh, there have been so many changes regarding with the stock market. Some volatility, especially in the last Friday, which was August 1st, 2025. So we can see that, especially on August 1st, we have in my account a negative 1% return. Not concerned that much because, for example, the SPY was 1.64. In my case, was not 1.64, just 1% down. So I'm just comparing just to let you know like how much my portfolio has been changing. But uh, I was aware that at some point there are gonna be so many changes, so many volatility because the stock market has been going up constantly for too many weeks, and it reached to a point that you can see, and I also mentioned that in the previous video, that there is going to be a correction. So that correction will uh, will get soon, and that is a point that I'm thinking right now. This is the time when the correction is coming. Usually August and September are the months that the stock market has negative returns. Usually those are the negative returns for the stock market. So that's why I was aware of that, and I was making some sales and buys. Some sales that are mostly my stocks, and buys that are ETFs that I will mention during this video. So just want you to show you right now how the stock market is behaving. You know very well that usually I use the weekly chart so they can give me a better idea. We see that on around June 23rd, it crossed the resistance line over here on the stock market from the previous all-time high, which was around February 18. Once it crossed it, it gave me the idea that it's going to continue that, and it continued for the following 5 to 6 weeks. So that's why I was increasing my position in some stocks and also selling those uh, that were getting the all-time highs. I already sold some stocks, especially on July 21st. Most of them are with Robinhood. Robinhood, I took some profits on some stocks. Usually, I don't sell all my stocks. I usually sell like a 30% to 50%. It depends how much it's on my portfolio. So if I see that it's about 4%, then usually I start thinking like maybe it's a 50% selling, and if it's 3%, maybe it's a 30%. So it depends based on your risk, and those are my risks. I already took some profits on some of them. As I said, I usually don't sell all my stocks. I just sell part of it, no more than 50%, and then I cost average when once I see that it has reached uh, the 50 EMI or the 20 EMI, which right now, for example, the 20 EMI is around, for the SPY, is a 600. Now, do I think that it's going to reach that point? I don't think so, but if that is the case, good for us because we can buy more stocks at a really cheap price. But it, there is a 50-50% that it can reach this point. Usually, for sure, it's going to reach the resistance line, which is around 613, 614. So I'm pretty confident that it's going to reach at some point this level. If it's going to cross it, it may or it may not. If it's going to cross it, then we have the next line that I told you is the 600 level. So get prepared for those corrections, volatility that the stock market is going to give us. I'm just going to place my alarm over here. It's going to be maybe more visible on the daily. You can see it there. Now, right now, the stock market, it seems that it has too much selling volume. You can see it's increasing the volume. So right now what we can expect is that the stock market can continue with this trend of going down, reaching first at 614, and then after it reaches, if we see that it crosses down, then uh, the next buy opportunity it will be around 600. If you see that, my suggestion, and as I said before, just my personal opinion, because everything that I show in this video is just a personal opinion based on my analysis. This is not uh, I'm not a professional on dealing with the stock market or financial advisor or something like that. I'm not that. Just take this opportunity just to share my journey to get to the 100k. But as I said before, my expectations are if it reaches the 614 and it crosses down, then I'm gonna start cost averaging with some stock that I already have um, too much confidence they're gonna keep going up, which I will mention later. So that's pretty much with the stock market. Just keep an eye on it. So regarding with my positions, we have still Nvidia. Right now, it has almost 50% up. My exposure is 3.46. I already sold some of my Nvidia positions. I already sold it, and also I have some sell stocks. Uh, so what I mean by that is I put already stops on my on some stocks that once it reaches that point, it's gonna trigger and it's gonna be a sell transaction. If I'm correct, let me check. Let me take a look. Nvidia. There we go. So for the daily, I have it around 170. So once it reaches 170, it's gonna trigger the sell stop, and that is when I'm gonna start selling some of my positions. TSM 60% up, also has a stop alarm. Then also Broadcom 81% up, BLDR right now almost 1% up, Apple 2.5% up, Microsoft 31% up, Google 14% up, Salesforce is 3% down, Meta Platforms is 46% up, ASML right now 12% down, a real estate stock which is BICI is 10% up, NU is 10% up, American Express 26% up, Chipotle right now with 17% down, HubSpot 9% down, Coinbase 34% up, MBIS 53% up. This particular stock is the one that it gave me a huge return, and I sold half of them, so that's why it's right now 1.1% of my portfolio. It used to be like almost 2%. So as I said before, I'm just gonna start making some uh, selling stocks to reduce my exposure to this correction. Uber right now with 32% up. Next Era Energy 21% up. INDI 8% down. Grab 1.55% down. OKE almost 10% down. But those stocks that are mentioning, especially after Uber, those are that has 1%, less than 1% of my portfolio exposure. Somehow 0.34% down. Can or CA ticker symbol CAN 18% down. Not worry about it since it's just, as I said before, those are the risky stocks that I buy just to see if it has any potential going up or down. Although it's risky, I know that I can have huge gains or huge losses. That's why my exposure is pretty low. And I suggest the same thing to you. Like if you wanna try something that is very risky, that is something that you wanna try it, but you don't know exactly where it's gonna hit, just put between 0.5% to 1% of your portfolio, so you don't have to worry about it for huge losses. PER almost 10% down. Ticker symbol GDDY 7.75% down. AMPX 131% up. This one in particular, I also has like a 1.5% of my portfolio a few days ago because it rallied for a long time, and then I make some uh, transactions. I put an stop loss, so it triggered and it sold like a 60% of my 50% or maybe 60, I don't know, of my positions. OPTT 0.68% up. KULR KULR is 25% down. UNH 13% down. Robinhood right now is 172, but you can see that it has just one stock. Why? Because I told you before, uh, I sold most of them, but for some reason it also triggered another stop loss that I had. It has two stop losses, uh, alarms. I put it. It reached both of them. That's why it went. I sold most of them. But as I said before, I'm just gonna buy it more of Robinhood because I have huge expectation for Robinhood in the following months and years. But for this correction market, I wanna just lose all my gains. But so far, great stock, and I'm gonna get back again to this particular one. Mara right now 14% down, but also it triggered also a stop loss. That's why I only have one. So these two in particular are the ones that had stop losses and it triggered already. Other stocks that are still there that you can see it from my positions up over here, Nvidia, TSN, Apple, all of them. It has also stop losses, alarms that are going to trigger in the following days if the stock market continues going down. Then ETFs. So this is the part when I already started making some decisions, which you will see it pretty much still the same Bitcoin ETF, 16% up, no changes at all on increasing my position. However, I bought UBIX, which is an ETF that is pretty much does the opposite of what the stock market trends. So if the stock market is trending up, this goes down. If the stock market is going down, this trends up. That's why you can see I have a 10% up in returns, especially on the last Friday. You can see I had a return of 16% up. That's why you can see a huge returns, and that is 7% right now on my portfolio. I might increase it. I'll see. It depends if it crosses what I told you before about the SPY. Uh, where is it here? Okay, the SPY. If it crosses the 614 level, then I will keep adding more. So then I have TLT, 3% down. CONY, or the Coinbase ETF, 55% down. Although I mentioned before, I just want to repeat it once again. I have 55% down, and maybe that's scary for most of you, but as I said it before, I bought it when it was um, in a good price. Then suddenly I thought that was a good price, but that was before the correction of the crypto, and it went down. But then, as I said before, it has 109% of dividends, which gives me a return of 60 to 50 dollars per month in dividends. And so far I collected around 1600, 1600. And how much loss it has? 913. So you can see I'm already cross the losses because of the dividends. As I said before, just make your decisions based on your personal analysis. This was this was not a good idea when I bought it because it was not cheap, it was high, but I kept my position until I reached the point that it doesn't become a loss, it becomes profitable because of the dividends. And it reached the point like 6 months ago. Now I'm making around 60 to 50 to $60 per month, and still making more and more in dividends. Even though the stop that I have, the loss that I have here is 55, is not changing at all. It's around most of the time 40 to 55, and goes back and forth. But as I said, it's just my personal analysis. SOXL right now 26% up, although I only have one. Why? Because also another stop loss was triggered and already sold most of my exposure, because I used to have 7% also of SOXL, and I took most of my profits around 26 also, and I'm okay with that. And I will back again to SOXL at some point when I see that is a fair price to buy it again. That's what I recommend also to all of you. Like, make sure that you put stop losses on the stocks that you feel that you make enough profits and it seems that it reached to a point that you might see a correction. You don't have to sell all of them. You can just put a stop loss for 50% of your holdings, or 30%. Now we have my cash, which is sitting around 30% right now. I have 30% in cash, ready to buy stocks when it gets cheaper and cheaper. And that makes a total of 80,362 of my portfolio. 80,362. Let's take a look right now at uh, my performance on my portfolio, which is right now from January 1st to August 2nd. I have a 14% return. 14% return of the stock market. Now the SPY is giving a 6% return. I'm making more than double on my portfolio, and I'm happy about my investment decisions. I'm not saying that I'm perfect, but I'm saying that those decisions that I made are making me double what is the stock market on right now. I hope you find it really helpful, this video. Just stay tuned about how the stock market is going to behave in the following days. You can see right now, for example, that 50 EMI is not is not trending up anymore. You can see it here. It used to be trending up for a long time until it reached this point, and now you can see a correction over here, which means that we might see more trending down from the stock market. Just be aware of that. Put your stop losses. Get some stocks that can hedge, or some ETFs that can hedge your portfolio, and make sure that you follow me, and I will see you on the next video. Take care. Bye.